Here's an excerpt from Water Steps by A. LaFay. You should know that the main character, Kyna, is terrified of water, and her adoptive parents are known as Mem and Pep, which is Irish for Mom and Pop. This is from a chapter called Lake. Mem and Pep had it all rigged. They'd had it rigged for months. I tried to tell them that I had to stay home if I ever hoped to take a picture that would take the blue ribbon at the junior photography division at the state fair. But they had a defense for that one. They have a clean county fair in Plattsburgh, New York, not 20 minutes from our lake house, Pep told me. Mem even sweetened the pot with, we'll even take you to New York City for some great shots in Central Park, if you're up for it. But I didn't really even hear her because I couldn't get over Pep calling it our lake house, like it was ours and not just a place we rented for the summer. To make things worse, they rented our house in Perryville to a family with 2 hairy, smash-faced dogs that grunted when they ran. I couldn't stay behind unless I wanted to defend our cat Kippers against grunting dust mops all summer. And no matter how hard I searched, I couldn't find a summer camp that didn't include swimming. Even the Ben Valley Horse Camp had swimming lessons. With your horse! Nope, I had to go live on a lake, a huge, enormous pool of drowning water. And as we drove to the stupid lake, Mem and Pep kept telling me silly, silky tales to make it seem all right. They'd guide ships through dark waters, Mem said, her eyes squinting as if she led a ship herself. Petting Kippers, who started to curl up on a blanket next to me, I said, I won't be on a ship in any water. Pep tapped the steering wheel, saying, Now, Kyna, if you're swimming. Swimming? I sat forward. I'm never going swimming. Just listen, love. If a swimmer, any swimmer, were to have a bit of trouble in a silky lake, a silkies would rescue him. You can't drown in a silky lake. Ha! I crossed my arms. What's a silky doing in an American lake anyway? They're immigrants like us, Mem shouted. Pep lowered his voice into adventure story mode and said, In a summer so warm, folks thought the North Pole might melt. A pot of silkies set to sea. Young, adventuresome silkies they were. Wild ones who grew up on stories of the seal folk who guided Leif Erikson on his journey over to the great ocean. They swam clean to Canada, right into the Gulf of the St. Lawrence. Slipping into the St. Lawrence River, most of the pod made their way to the Great Lakes. Ah, but as the story goes, one young silky lad named Tern got himself a bit turned around and went the wrong way down the Richelieu River. With all the water and shallows and tiny rushing currents, he got tangled up in a batch of weeds. The rest of the pod went off. Meanwhile, Tern came out in Lake Champlain, a grand, beautiful, clear lake filled with islands to the north and reflecting great grey mountains topped with pine trees to the southwest. But what he loved the best were the rolling green hills to the east, with the rocky shore and the green hills in the mist of the morning. Tern felt himself at home. And when his aunties and uncles found him there swimming along the shores, they too had to agree with him and dared to stay. That is how the silkies came to Lake Champlain. I shrugged, saying, Oh yeah? When did the leprechauns show up? And how would he do that? Pep asked. Have you ever seen a rainbow big enough to cross the Atlantic? He glanced back at me. Well, have you? No, I rolled my eyes. Well, then there you have it. They can't get here, no kidding. Why not just buy a plane ticket over? Mem laughed. I can see 'em all standing on each other's shoulders to hand off a wee passport to the customs officer. She squeaked up her voice. We're travelling for pleasure, sir. Off to see the rainbows cast by the Niagara Falls, sir. See what they got at the end of them. Mem spun to face both Pep and I, and acted out what she described. And the big one on the bottom's all red-faced and shaking. A minute later, they all tumbled to the ground, in a screaming pile of buckles and hats, poking out feet and elbows everywhere, like some muddled-up hedgehog. We laughed. And can you imagine trying to buckle a leprechaun into an airplane seat? One good bout of turbulence and he'd go sailing. She zoomed her hands for the air. Probably ended up in some lady's handbag. All the crazy stories, and I almost forgot where we were headed. Then Pep pulled down a long tree-lined road. I could see the tall grey mountains in the distance. Are we getting close? I asked, sinking down in my seat. Why? Are you excited to get out and see if you can catch a sight of a silky? No, I'm planning my escape route. Mem frowned. And what if this is meant to be your best summer ever? You're ruining any chance of that with your sour thoughts. Best? Try worst. I'd never sleep. They'd expect me to eat fish, and those mop dogs would probably drool, chew, and piddle their way through my attic bedroom back home. I'd be lucky if I survived my 10th summer of life. I'd certainly never forget it.